In regions like Amur or Kola Peninsula, the challenge is not tipping over or not getting stuck. But in the new region of SnowRunner, Washington, that is not the challenge. The challenge is not running out of fuel and not falling asleep. In other difficult regions in SnowRunner, usually the big difficult challenge is to get from point A to point B. But in Washington, one of the things that you need to be careful about is your fuel. In the entire region, there is only one fuel station, but that is not that big of a challenge. The biggest and most difficult thing to do in this region is not falling asleep, because I'm sorry to say this region is very boring. This region has some cool things, but these things are just not good enough to keep you playing this region that much. The places they created in this region in every single map is really cool, and some of the contracts that you complete, the ending and the cutscene is very, very good. I would say the places they created in this region are some of the best in the entire game. The towns, the dam, or these camp areas, they are very beautiful and unique. But not everything about this region feels unique. So many times, so many contracts, especially the ones about that main highway, feels very, very similar to Quebec. Some of the environment of this region feels very similar to Austria. And some of the missions you complete feel very similar to North Carolina. So this region really feels like is just 3 or 4 old regions mixed together. Now, the main reason why I did not like this region, and I'm sorry to say this region is one of my least favorite regions in the entire game. The main reason for that is the way they created the main road or most of the roads and the places they went for the warehouses or factories or any area where you need to pick up the cargo. And in the entire region, there is only one garage, and this one garage is not close to anything. And the way they designed the contracts are in a way that you need to travel between the maps all the time. Most of the times you have to go to Solace Bay to get the cargo and drive all the way from over there to Selten River Mountains. You have to drive through 3 maps in order to complete one contract. At first, when the main highway wasn't fully fixed, some of the contracts took me 3 to 4 hours to complete. And pretty much doesn't matter what you need. You need to travel across the whole map to get it. The packaged sand is as far as possible from the gateway. The metal beam is incredibly far from the gateway, and the port where you can pick up so many different cargoes, it's very, very far from the gateway. So all the time you have to travel across the whole map to get the cargo. And even the destinations, again, you need to travel across the whole map to get to the destination. This region basically is going up and down the same exact road over and over and over and over again, maybe for like 100 hours. And in the first map, the map with the garage, you pretty much cannot find anything. There are some cargoes that you can only get from the Selten National Park, but for most of them, you need to craft them. And the material you need for the crafting are always in another map. So again, even for that, you need to travel across the map. Same goes for the Selten River Mountains. Even when you want to craft concrete slabs or concrete blocks, you need to get the cement from the Solace Bay. And I don't know why everything you need, all of them requires crafting. Why not just using the generator? It's at least easier to get the fuel to that area. So everything in this region was just designed in a way to make things as time consuming as possible, so you spend a lot of time on this region. And this region is not necessarily difficult at all. It is actually one of the easiest regions in the game. You can pretty much use any truck that you want. The biggest challenge is the fuel, but you can have your own fuel around the map, so it's not a big deal. But this region is just so boring. Now, there is one last thing I want to mention. A very interesting stat that I want to show you. Now, I want to remind you something. Washington has 3 maps and it doesn't have the most number of missions out of all the regions in the game. Now, if you look closely, you see that the distance traveled in Washington after fully completing this region is over 1.1 million meters. 1.1 million meters for one region is pretty insane. And this is exactly what I was saying. In this region, you have to go up and down the same roads all the time, and it's not that fun. Now, if I compare this region to the previous region, you see the distance I traveled in this region is only 486,000. And the region before that, Austria, it's 441,000. In Almaty region, a region with only one map is 359,000. And in North Carolina, a region with more missions and 4 maps, it's 818,000. 818,000 compared to 1.1 million. And this region has more maps, and even in this region, you kinda need to travel across the whole region couple of times, but not as much as Washington. And this is exactly what I was saying. In Washington, for no reason basically, you need to go up and down, up and down, up and down the same road all the time. Now, for the trucks in this season, the trucks are actually not that unique or special, and you don't really need any of them. The Slater ST833 Chimera is good in mod. It does have some good and unique add-ons, but it feels so underpowered. And I really mean it, like really underpowered. Pretty much anytime you wanna go up a hill or something like that, you need to use your winch, even when you're not carrying that much cargo. And it's not even that fuel efficient. Actually, many times I ran out of fuel with this truck. The other one is the Platform 40 body, which in my opinion, this is actually the best truck of this season. It doesn't have anything special. It doesn't even support crane and bed on the truck at the same time. But it's a decent truck. The fuel tank is not that big. You have extra fuel on the roof rack. But for an off-road truck, it's not that bad. There is just not much to say about it. And the last one is the HIB Billard 1980. Compared to other off-road trucks, this vehicle is a bit smaller, but it does have access to a good number of add-ons. With this truck, you can carry so much fuel, which is really good. And overall, this truck is not that bad either. It's good for some rescue missions or some scouting. And this is pretty much my opinion on Season 16 High Voltage. Decent contracts, cool cutscenes, cool areas they created in this region, but overall this region is very boring, and I pretty much don't recommend this season to anyone. I just feel like most of the people would find this region a bit boring, unless you play with like 3 or 4 people and you like going for these long missions with a big convoy of trucks. In that case, maybe Washington is a good region for you. But overall, I just did not find this region that good. And I'm sorry, most of this video was a bit negative. I really didn't want it to be this way, but I just can't lie. I played the whole region and I really did not enjoy it. That's it for today's video. I see you in the next one.